There's a mystique about it, there's a history, heritage. You only realise when you win it how much you remembered of all the other guys who've won it.
So there's not many sporting events that can say they're 150 plus years old.
Stand the first tee at an Open Championship, you're tingling with excitement.
You start thinking back to Tom Morris, Gary Player, Jack Nicklaus, Arnold Palmer. Amazing to think that you might well be part of that history.
Links golf, it's tricky, it's unjust, it's got to be played with a lot of imagination.
Links golf is the natural way to play the game.
St Andrews, the home of golf.
Carnoustie, by 2 shots, is the toughest course there.
Royal St George's, definitely the most traditional.
Turnberry, to me, has the most character.
Muirfield, solid, strong, a fair test.
They all contain so many great holes.
And it really does come down to your own personal choice.
Well, the ultimate Open 18 is quite a challenge which we have set you two fine gentlemen, and I suspect that you two analytical golf brains are looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah, it's something that we would have done as kids, as amateurs, as professionals. We'd discuss what are the best holes. We'd look at all these golf holes, and in some ways, you know, Colin's done some course design. I'm sure he's looking at holes and saying, I'd like to have one like this on my course. And it really is something we're interested in.
I think you're right. I think it's something that the pros have talked about over breakfast, over dinner, whatever it might be, and to say what is the best opening hole in championship golf? What is the best closing hole? What is the best holes down the stretch, or whatever the case may be? And I think we're just going to have a debate here about what they might feel themselves.
It's something that all golfers do at all levels. They pick their favourite hole in their golf course. So we're just going to take it up to the ultimate level, I suppose, and pick from the 9 active courses on the Open Championship rota. But the twist is that we're going to do it in a sort of foursomes format. So one of you is going to do the odd holes, one of you is going to do the even holes. And the way we're going to decide that is with the toss of a coin. So we'll get Padraig to call.
Heads.
And it is heads. So Padraig has...
A winner already.
A winner already.
You're one up.
Excellent. It is already a grudge match. We're looking forward to this. Right, so the first hole then. It has to be a good one, Padraig.
For me, it has to be the first at St Andrews.
On the tee from Ireland, Padraig Harrington.
The feeling you get standing on the first tee, there's nothing like it in Open Championship golf, in any competitive golf. When you stand there, the hairs stand up on the back of your neck, you are excited about the day ahead, and it's all because the first tee is situated underneath the R&A clubhouse in the town of St Andrews. It's just everything that goes with it. It's not necessarily the hole itself, but what it means.
Does that make it a great golf hole?
It's a very poor golf hole. In fact, I think it's one of the poorest holes in championship golf. It has to be. It's a field. Good location, I'll give you that, but it's a field. There's no obstacle in this hole at all. It's just, I mean, there's a burn in front of the green, but if you go in that, you really, I mean, you need, you know. Okay, well, there you go. Okay, there you go. Okay. I knew that. If you want a debate, this is where we start here. We're a long way apart here. I'm going for not sort of theatre here or atmosphere. I'm going for golf holes, strength of golf holes. Now, you've got to think of Muirfield, you've got to think of Birkdale, great opening golf holes. And my choice would be St George's, Royal St George's first hole. If Tiger hadn't taken 7 at that hole, when Ben Curtis won, he lost by a shot, took 7 at the first hole. I mean, that is right off the bat, you've got a golf hole.
Tiger must be wondering how this could possibly happen. The opening drive, pushed away with thousands of people here, how they can't find him.
what are the criteria then for making a great golf hole? Because
Well, it certainly isn't a field.
Is
It certainly isn't a big open field. You'd never design a hole like that. You would be shot.
But you can't.
if
you
you
beat teeing
if you
off
did
on
that
the-
right now.
We're talking about the excitement that you get playing a hole. And there's no more exciting place in the world of golf than the first tee at St Andrews.
Colin, he's not going to be moved on this one, and it is Padraig's choice for the first hole. So ultimately, despite your protestations, and a very good argument you make,
They're
the
very
first
good
hole,
arguments, and I do agree that the other holes are better golf holes.
I do apologise to all RNA members. I've just called the first hole a field.
In the greatest location in the world.
In the greatest location in the world.
Greatest location.
And I think they would agree.
The location supersedes everything else
The
in
first
this
hole,
one
then.
occasion.
the first hole is the first on the old course at St Andrews. Second hole, Padraig wins that with a birdie. The first on to this second hole. Colin, it's your choice.
You didn't go in the burn that time.
I hold the long putt, OK?
That's all you've got at that hole. You have to hit the thing 20 yards past the hole because you feel an idiot if you put it in the burn.
But that's part of the
you've got-
hole.
Colin, the first hole is gone. It's gone. Forget about it. You've made bogey. You're on the second tee. Which second tee are you on?
I'm on Birkdale's second hole. I think it's a good driving hole and a great second shot into a tight green, well bunkered. Usually playing a crosswind left to right. I think it's a very good, strong second hole of a golf course.
I think Padraig thinks that all 18 holes at Birkdale are great golf holes. Would you agree with the second?
Absolutely. I'd pick the second at Carnoustie, but you couldn't argue the toss. The two holes are solid.
I agree with you there.
They get you straight into championship golf. It's kind of what links golf is about, you know, some good, tough
Well, it is.
par fours.
Well, I'm glad you're back onto a golf course.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Than what we started.
Yeah.
Excellent. You're walking merrily down the second, arm in arm, all best friends again. So we're going to... it's a
But I'm
half.
still one down.
Ah, exactly. Well, there we go. Such is life.
I chose the third hole in championship golf at Hoylake. It's very much a risk-reward hole. You can play it safely down the left and leave a longish iron shot in there, or you can be a bit more aggressive and hit it tight to the out of bounds and, you know, give yourself an opportunity of making birdie. The last time we played the championship there, it was one of the few holes you felt you could make a birdie on, so you did need to be that bit more aggressive, and I just liked the idea of the risk-reward in it.
Yeah, Colin, you must agree with that.
Yeah.
Nice faders hole there.
Yeah, all apart from the fact that I don't like internal out of bounds. I've gone for Carnoustie's third hole. Now, here we're back to you winning the Open. Now, Carnoustie's third hole, you've got to start thinking.
I would agree.
You've got to start thinking here, do we hit a 7-iron off the tee? Now, because it's a par 4, it doesn't necessarily have to be a driver. It can be a driver, real risk there, because if you turn it left, you're in the burn. If you actually push it right, you've got no shot of the pins at the back right-hand side. I find it a very difficult decision on the third hole of Carnoustie what to tee off with, and therefore the first shot I think's crucial in a golf hole. So I've gone for the third hole at Carnoustie, as opposed to I just don't like the internal out of bounds thing. I can understand if you hit it into a car park, you hit it out the boundary of the golf course, but not onto a practice ground. And no. Carnoustie's got some
Did something
character.
happen there, Colin? Did you carve it into the out of bounds by any chance?
No,
Are
I
these
just...
bad memories coming to us.
It's just, look, most of the holes I've played in the Open Championship had bad memories, believe me. Very few have had good ones.
The ultimate decision in this hole comes to Padraig anyway, so it is his hole. The third hole at Hoylake, you're hunting
No,
around.
I'm going to change my mind. The Hoylake third hole is a memorable hole, but yes, the third hole at Carnoustie is definitely a real championship hole and a better golf hole. You could have that anywhere in the world and it would be a great test.
Excellent. Padraig has been persuaded the third hole at Carnoustie is our choice.
I've gone for the fourth at the home of golf, the fourth hole at St Andrews. A very difficult drive, one drive that has to be hit solidly over the left-hand side. If you do go right, there's two very ugly bunkers down the right-hand side there and some gorse. And then the second shot is all about At a very early stage at the golf course, we do not take risks here, and we've got to let that ball travel down that right-hand side of that green, and it's a very difficult 50, 60-foot two-putt coming back up there. The green is very slow, and it's a very difficult par 4.
Every golf course starts somewhere, and you know, the 4th hole at St Andrews is when you know you're into it. My choice for the 4th hole would be the 4th at Turnberry. A really traditional par 3, short hole, 168 yards. Usually quite a bit of strong crosswind, small target. If you hit a good shot, you're going to make birdie. Miss the green and you're in a lot of trouble. I could definitely agree that the 4th hole at St Andrews is a tougher, big championship hole.
It's a win for Colin on the 4th hole. I was going to give it to you anyway, whatever you said. Colin, while you're struggling around 4th, let me take you to happier times at St Andrews, because the Open Championship, it wasn't the best record for you of all the majors, but then came 2005 and you had a great chance.
The thing that springs to mind was the support. I think the Scottish crowd got behind me in such a way that they said, OK, come on, we'll really support Monty in trying to win this major championship that's eluded him. The amount of saltires that were flying around that course on that Saturday afternoon was something that I'll never, ever forget. The noise, God, I could hear it now, you know? And it was just a shame that Tiger was playing his good golf. I was very proud to beat the other 155 competitors, but just not him. So, yes, fine, I'll take my runner-up trophy and walk happy and thank the support that was given to me that particular day, Saturday, and through Sunday was something I'll always remember.
The 5th hole then, Padraig, and it's back to your choice.
I picked the 5th hole at Carnoustie. I like the variability of the hole, whether you lay up at the bunkers off the tee or hit it in between the bunkers to shorten your second shot to a green that is probably 45, 50 yards long. So if the pin's at the back of the green, you're forced into taking the tee shot on more. And if the pin's at the front of the green, actually is a relatively easy hole and a good birdie chance. So you're kind of not exactly sure what to expect until you see the pin position. And I like the changeability of the hole, and it just gives you a few options. Knowing that Carnoustie doesn't give you very much, I just like the idea of that hole.
Now, you're talking about Carnoustie. We have to, when we're talking about Carnoustie, take you back. Why not to your win there, your first Open Championship win?
It was one of those weeks I played really well all week, and I got myself into a great position coming down the stretch. Got a few breaks coming down the stretch. I made eagle on 14 and, you know, played my way in, and then had a bit of a disaster down the 18th.
Pushed it. Stay left. Water.
Did you think Van de Velde at that time? Or are you...
Oh yeah, every day I walked down the 18th in practice, and every day I walked down it in the tournament, I thought about Van de Velde. And this is the thing about Open Championship golf, and you carry the baggage of other players with you.
Do you think you'd lost it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I was fully convinced I'd lost it. My caddy went through every cliche he knew between when I'd hit my 3rd shot to when I was hitting my 5th shot. And whereas I wasn't listening to him at the start, by the end of it, I believed him.
Right. Delightful shot.
So I went from like the lowest point I think I ever felt on a golf course to, I won't say normality, but back into the zone. And from there, I was fully convinced I was going to win the Open.
And he gave us the best finished with the most surreal words ever to finish a programme.
Yes,
We said, did you ever fill this with ladybirds, as he suggested?
Well, this is it. When he, again, talk about bringing you back to reality, I've got the trophy, and it's the first time I've got the trophy, and I'm going over to the crowds to show it, and he comes running up to me, and he goes, Daddy, can we put the ladybirds in that? And of course, it just brings it all back down that, you know, it's only a game in the end of the day. You know, you don't feel like that at the time, but You know, kids are brilliant for that. They bring you back to reality.
Fantastic. On that note of animal cruelty, let's move on.
I did actually put ladybirds in it. Yes.
Let's gloss over that.
We were saving them, I swear.
I want to open the top to find out if they're still in there.
They're still in there somewhere, swimming around. On to the 6th hole. Colin, it's your choice for the 6th.
See, we're back to probably the most famous par 5 on our championship rota, which of course is the 6th at Carnoustie. Hogan's Alley, as they say, and Ben Hogan used to go down the left-hand side of that hole, the tight side, if you like, out of bounds on the left, and these horrible bunkers in the middle of the fairway, and I think it's just a dramatic par 5. When you mention the 6th hole, you switch over, the 9 courses go through your mind very quickly on the R&A rota. 6, 6, 6, Carnoustie. It just springs out there. It just hits you.
Even with the name 666.
I know. Well, there you go. There you go. It is.
It's a devilish hole.
Hogan's Alley.
Amazing statistic here yesterday. 1 in 10 golfers hit their tee shot out of bounds.
Really?
1 in 10.
It's definitely the hole that I'd say of all the way through championship golf, everybody likes to get through. If you can get through that in 4 pars, you're
delighted.
Yeah. Picked the 7th hole at Birkdale. Again, a little bit because obviously I won the Open there, and I have strong memories of it.
Beautiful shot, the best we've seen today.
I just liked the fact it seemed like a normal, sensible hole in the tournament. It's a medium length, sort of 5-iron, 6-iron. It can change a bit, but it seemed to cause a lot of trouble in the tournament. There was strong winds that week. In the crosswind, you have an elevated tee box down to you're hitting downhill in a crosswind, and it just, for such a simple hole, seemed to cause a lot of problems during the week. And I really liked the fact that it seemed to hit above its weight.
My 7th hole was a 7th at Lytham, but I would have to go with my good friend here and say that that hole, the way that it played, especially in your win, and it wasn't long. I mean, you're talking, what, 6, 7 iron, really, but you've got to control it. You've got to sort of start to think about the way you shape the ball and the way you can control the ball in the air. And so I would go with the 7th at Birkdale. Well, it's my home course, Rawtrun, and where I was brought up and played the game. Rawtrun's 8th hole, the Postage Stamp, and it's called that because of the size of the green. It was named like the size of a postage stamp, and it's 123 yards.
Nothing 123 yards. Why is it so difficult?
Well, that's why it's difficult. Expectation is such that this should be easy. This is a wedge, right? This is a wedge, but you miss that green a foot to the left, you won't be hitting the green with the next shot, and a foot to the right, and you're down the height of this ceiling. This is one nasty card wrecker of a hole.
Don't take the 8th at Troon away from the hometown ball.
No, I picked that as well. It is the intimidation factor. We're not even aiming at the flag. All we're trying to do is hit the front of the green, 2-putt it, and leave with a par, because, you know, you miss that green, you get stuck at the bunkers are tiny. You never get a level stance in the bunker. Your ball never sits in the middle of the bunker. No. It's always against the back lip. You can't get it back on the green. And it really is. You can see a tournament go totally away from you on one hole. There couldn't be a discussion with any other hole.
And a bit of magic in its history as well. 1973, Gene Sanderson.
Well, I mean, that was the first Open I ever attended when I was 10 years old, 1973. So that shows you how old I am. And
we're all doing the maths here.
OK, Tom Weiskopf's Open, and I heard the noise. Gene Saracen, in his early 70s, holed in one.
Gene Saracen, who failed to qualify here 50 years ago this week when he was US Open champion. Here goes the postage stamp. Let's watch it. And what do you think about that one? 50 years.
And then made 2 the next day. He played it in 3, missed the cut, of course, but played that hole in 3 shots. So it can be done, of course it can. And our view is you want to get off that hole with a 3. There's a few holes we've said already, but that is a par, and you walk to that 9th tee with a big sigh of relief.
Probably one of the most iconic holes in Open Championship golf, the 9th hole at Turnberry.
It's our little pebble beach, and it is a very, very special place to be.
You're isolated and you're out there, and it certainly adds to the experience. The hole itself is tricky, but the tee shot itself, even though it's not a tough tee shot for the pros, it still has a little bit of intimidation. You're out there and like you feel like you're out in the cliffs. I don't think there is any other hole in Championship golf where we actually are that close to the water.
No, that you could actually fall in. Yeah. I mean, literally fall in the sea.
Maybe push the opposition.
Yeah, but I mean, there is a fence here, and it is dangerous. There's no question. I mean, you could fall in and very much hurt yourself. It is that dramatic.
Whenever I think about the 9th hole at Turnberry, I think about someone like Tom Watson.
How about that for a spectacular setting?
And that's what the Open Championship's about as well. It's memories, and someone like Tom Watson, for me, just epitomises the Open Championship.
Yeah, you know, he's had 5 Open wins, and his name is always going to be synonymous with the Open.
Has he got the right club? Oh, has he got the right club? My word, it's only 18, 20 inches from the hole.
There was 2 people I'd go and watch, and unfortunately present company excluded. Tom Watson and Greg Norman.
Yeah.
I would watch both of them in my day strike a golf ball, and to this day, Tom Watson has not changed.
Watson playing conservatively with a 1-iron. Bunkers down the left, which are difficult to carry.
I would agree with that. At the last Open, I'm on the range, and I'm not looking at anybody. I'm just paying attention to what I'm doing. And I can hear this striking behind me, and I had to stop and look, and it was Tom Watson. You never want to stare at another player hitting shots, you know, you don't want to, you know, you don't, yeah.
Admit that you're admiring someone else too much.
You know, I sneakily go back and have a drink of water and be watching him hit his shots, and they just repeat it. Ball flight, every one of them was the same height, going out there, same amount of draw. It was an absolute joy to watch. It was phenomenal how good a ball striker. And if you get to play one, which luckily we still do, he just, you know, he plays with no fear. It's unbelievable.
No, attacks. He's still, at 61 years old now, attacks everything, attacks it all fantastically well, and such a great, crisp rhythm to his swing, and fantastic.
I think the reason why we love Tom Watson so much is because we grew up watching Tom Watson win his 5 Opens, and he did it with great flair, great style. You know, he's a great champion. He really
He's a
is.
gentleman doing it. He's a gentleman doing it.
We're into the halfway house. I don't think we can decide on the best halfway house. There's only a couple of them, so but a fantastic choice. And consensus agreement in the last 2 holes. I don't know what's happening here.
The 10th is at the Honourable Company of Edinburgh Golfers, the Muirfield course there. The 10th hole, a strong, strong par 4. Usually playing a driver 3-iron, driver 4-iron, well bunkered tee shot, well bunkered second shot, and I think it's just a strong par 4 to start a back 9 of any Open Championship.
I had pitched for the 10th at Turnberry, but I like the 10th at Muirfield. I think, as Colin says, it does make a statement. You're here now. You've got 9 holes to go in this tournament, and we're going to truly test you. You know, it's It's a stern hole. It doesn't have the imagination of some other holes. It's not in any way tricky. It's not.
No, it's not. You just have to hit a straight drive and a very straight, long second shot. And it'll reward you if you do that.
The 11th hole, now it's your choice, Padraig, but I want you to try the powers of deduction. What hole do you think, before Padraig gives us his answer, what hole do you think he's going to choose?
Well,
Into the recesses of Padraig's mind here.
Well, you tend to go back to, you know, I mean, people ask me, what's your favourite course, Monty? And I immediately go back to the courses that you've won on. You do. You go back to what's your favourite course or what's your favourite horse. So I'm looking to Padraig to think about Carnoustie, to think about Birkdale, to think about certain holes on these particular courses that you've won on. But I'll leave it up to Padraig. It's his honour on this particular hole.
I did think about the 11th hole at Carnoustie, a nice variable hole, and I birdied it to really start my run in the final round.
8 iron now for Harrington, pin on the back right.
He is so ready, Padraig. You look in his eye there. He is so ready for this.
But I actually picked the 11th hole at Troon.
It's a brute of a par 4.
It's a brute of a par 4, but it's a traditional links golf hole because what they've done is the tee shot is semi-blind with the gorse. You're just thrown off guard. You've got a bit of out of bounds down the right. You've got the gorse either side. But you're never quite sure. And sometimes that's the best thing about links golf.
It has two great features of links golf. It has the gorse and it has a railway, and the railways were what the links golf grew up around. So
yes, it was.
Two great features.
Prestwick line through Troon, the railway. There's a number of railway lines connected to true links courses, yes.
You speak as if you might be a man who's sent a few golf balls onto that railway.
I have, yes. I do happen to hit the ball left to right, and if the wind is that way, I've sent a few balls on that line.
Excellent.
But a strong par 4.
And it sums up links golf, I think,
it
that
does.
one, yeah.
Well, you say a few balls on the railway. I've certainly done that. But I mean, you're being far too modest because you've got to actually. I'm sure you've got a few course records on Open Championship courses.
There's a few times I've got lucky, I suppose. Out early enough, you can get, you know, when the wind hasn't picked up, you've been quite fortunate. Carnoustie, I managed to shoot 64 one day. I don't know how I yet did that. I led the Open at Lytham, 65 the first day, which was, I led by 3 shots.
Yes, all right, Monty, 65. What a way to finish.
And then I was... classic Muirfield.
Muirfield, tell us about the run of scores at Muirfield.
Well, my first 3 days were 74, 64, 84.
I don't want to know about the Sunday.
No, Sunday, we don't even want to go to Sunday. But 74 wasn't so good, 64 was a course record. And then the weather changed dramatically.
20 shots.
And it was 20 shots worse the next day, having obviously played quite well the day before because I broke the course record. I mean, odd.
That was the worst weather.
Oh, it was
that was
horrendous.
ever played.
And this was July, remember. We played this tournament in the third week in July, our midsummer.
Yeah, I was out there in a T-shirt with a flimsy jacket and I saw this big wall of storm coming in.
Never seen anything like it.
No, never seen anything like it. And it was horrendous weather.
That's what you've got to, in this circumstances, hate, but love and hate about links golf.
Well,
it does. You never know what you get.
No.
What have you got for us in the 12th?
The 12th hole, I've got Royal Birkdale's 12th hole, the par 3. I think one of the strongest par 3s in Open Championship golf. I think it's a super hole. The way that green sits into that mounding at the back left there, I think it's super. It's almost a dog leg, if you like. If that pin can be back right there, you almost don't see it from the tee. You know, you have to fade it in, and it suits my eye. I mean, I fade the ball in, so I look at holes, and if it's going left to right, I can see it, and it sets up for me perfectly the way that hole goes.
I would agree. It's an incredibly natural golf hole. It doesn't look like it was designed. It looks like it was just born that way. It's fantastic way. The tee box and the green both just sit on two dunes, and it plays fantastic. And did during the tournament.
Building up some great par 3s in this fictitious golf course is wonderful. Par 3s,
but aren't par 3s? You
they're
know,
the ones that get the pros.
They're the ones that get us. It's a one-shot hole, and you get it right, you can make birdie. Get it wrong, you can make anything. And it's whoa, you know, we've picked the 8th hole at Troon, we've picked the 12th hole here. You know, there's some good par 3s.
I did pick the 13th at Birkdale because of it was a pivotal hole in me winning in 2008.
That was really smarted right out of the centre of the club face.
Finds the fairway. Yes, good.
It's a stern par 4. It's a long par 4. Again, you're forced to hit your tee shot between the bunkers. You can't lay up. It's just be too long a hole. So you have to hit a straight tee shot, good tee shot, and then you're left with the long iron.
Doesn't need a soft bounce, needs a little bit of chase. Gets it. Super.
You have to hit it well. It has to be a quality strike to pitch it on that green. It doesn't really readily accept the ball. So I did both of those things and maybe 20 feet and hold the putt, and it just gave me a lot of confidence.
What a putt.
And when you remember the European win at Birkdale, your feelings, your memories, are they different to the memories you have of Carnoustie? Was it a different feeling winning?
Very different, very different. Carnoustie, I was coming from behind. I got myself in position, made a few things happen at the end of it, messed up, and then took it back. So it was an exciting win. In Birkdale, it was totally different. I felt like I controlled the tournament. I was the best player, hit the best shots. You know, there was no second guessing. You could second guess Carnoustie's win, but you couldn't second guess Birkdale's win. So it was a much more satisfying win in Birkdale too. And it was because of shots like on 13 where I felt I really hit the golf shots. There was no questioning the way I played.
Here's back to the home of golf, St Andrews 14th hole. It's now 600 yards plus, and it's now become a very, very difficult par 5. There's a series of bunkers on the left-hand side called the Beardies. Now, forgive me for not knowing why they're called that, but they are horrendous. I mean, if you can come out forwards out these things, you're fortunate. I mean, it's horrendous bunkers.
By the time you come out to them, you do have a beard.
I think it might well be that.
I may have made that up, but let's just pretend that is the reason.
I mean, they are awful. So you tend to obviously protect against going out of bounds. So you're horribly aiming towards these things. Yes, it's a birdie opportunity because it's a par 5. We feel that. But since they've moved that tee back now, it's one very, very dangerous and good golf hole.
I picked 15th at Royal St George's. It's a stern, tough, strong par 4, coming right at the end of the tournament, fairways lined with bunkers. You have to hit driver. It's not a hole you can lay up on. It's 475 yards. There is a little bit of danger up around the green, and you're being asked, make a good solid 4 as you come home. It's not a catastrophe hole, but it's just a stern, strong challenge.
I'm sure a lot of people will be hoping for a par there in the championship this year. Colin, your choice of 15?
Well, I went for the 15th at Royal Lytham. I think the last 4 holes at Royal Lytham are a special test, and this is one of the strongest ones out there as a par 4. I agree with you, the 15th at St George's. Similar length of holes, as Padraig rightly says, stern tests at the right time.
Well, it's Padraig's choice, so the 15th at St George's.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with Royal St George's. It's as much. They're 2 good golf holes.
16th, Colin.
16th, I've gone for something that is unusual for me because I wouldn't go for normally. I go for the short par 3s. It's the 16th at Carnoustie. 240 odd yards
Par 3.5.
of par 3.5. It's the one hole that springs to mind for me as being so tough, so difficult to make your three.
That's a huge misjudgment.
You can see my choices here: to make a three, to make a par, and walk off happy. And I think that in championship golf, coming down the stretch is what it's all about. There's no need to make birdies at these particular holes. Par is a great score.
Monty's putt for par.
We're back to a happy place for you, Padraig. 16th at Carnoustie.
I picked actually the 16th at Lytham. Car park champion, Seve.
Car park champion,
yeah,
Seve.
Oh, he gives it a tremendous clatter, and that's going miles to the right. We're some 60 or 70 yards to the right of this fairway. Well, I do believe he's away off there and found a car park.
It was a little bit cruel, Seve, because that car park, it was right beside the fairway. It was as close as...
Yeah, don't spoil the dream of it.
It wasn't that far off line, and he's in the car park. He's down the street somewhere.
Actually, if you drew a straight line from the tee to the green, he wasn't far off.
He wasn't far off.
No, he wasn't.
And
it was
it is
just
a drivable
there was
hole, so-
his ball was under a car.
Ballesteros with a very lofted club. And it's a good one. And he only needs one. Well, the golfing gods really are with the smiling Spaniard today.
You kind of want to play the 16th at Lytham because of that.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, but
You do.
the 16th at Carnoustie, it's a beast, it's a brute.
It's a brute of a hole. Brute of a hole.
Anyway, so the 16th at Carnoustie.
Most of Carnoustie is.
As I said, it's not a golf course you love, it's a course you respect.
If you played all these courses, all the 9 courses on the championship rota, would you say Carnoustie would be 2 shots harder than any other?
I would certainly say it's the one...
Because I would.
Yeah.
I'd say it was 2 shots. For me, if I went round in 70 round the other ones, I'd expect to score 72 round Carnoustie.
Well, it's the one that they need to do the least with to make it championship.
Yes.
You know, when we turn
you
up...
don't have to grow anything.
Grow nothing, leave nothing, no hard pin positions.
Just go and play golf.
Go play golf. It's definitely the toughest. Like, your Muirfield and your Troon and Turnberry can come up to Birkdale, can come up to it, but needs a bit of finessing.
Day to day, Carnoustie is the toughest.
Colin, by your calculation, your 64 at Carnoustie equals a 62 elsewhere.
Well, I'm just, yeah. Thanks for mentioning it, yeah.
Okay, one more time. You're allowed one more mention of that. Let's move on to the 17th. We're nearing home, the 17th hole, and it's an odd hole. It's your choice.
I think this was probably the easiest choice of the lot. It's tough, it's intimidating, it's exciting, it has so much history to it. It just can't be anything but the 17th at St Andrews. It has a couple of quirky things. It's got actually a lot of quirky things about it. It's a blind tee shot over a hotel.
If you do happen to hit that fairway and you've got the second shot into this green, I tell you what, everybody the anticipation. You can feel it, can't you? On the fairway, you can feel it with the crowd, you can feel it with your caddy, you feel it with you. The anticipation of this next, what's going to happen in the next minute, where this ball's going to finish when it stops, when it finally comes to rest. Is it going to be in the road hole bunker, the famous sands of Nakajima?
He's now playing 5. Still not out. That's 6, and it tries but comes back again.
It was only that high when it was Nakajima was in it. It's like this high now.
They've made it worse. Or do you go over the back and onto the famous road? You know, the road hole. That's what gives it its name. The road at the back of the.
Did you see him miss a shot this year?
No, he played it.
He hit it off the wall, up and onto.
Amazing.
The greatest golf shot I've ever seen.
Amazing.
This could be a big mistake here.
If it was hit by anybody else,
Oh, no.
that shot would have been hit.
I think he lit another cigar up there and another Rioja on his way onto the green. Brilliant.
But that's what you love about the hole. There we are, we're discussing other players with excitement.
Oh.
Did you see it?
Oh, did you see that? Did you see that?
It's
I know.
definitely the best second shot.
Best approach shot.
Yeah.
Most dangerous.
Yeah.
Most dangerous, and yet best because of it. Once you've hit the fairway, once you've got over the railway sheds and the hotel, I mean, there's how often in major... Well, you don't. This is the only shot you hit over a building that's man-made.
Intentionally.
Intentionally. And now, of course,
It
the
doesn't
tee has
take
been
much
moved
to
back.
hit the hotel on the
no,
right.
no. Oh, no. You don't want a room at the top right,
And
I
it's
tell you.
now a big carry.
It's a big hole now. Back to a 4-iron as opposed to a 9-iron. It's a dramatic hole.
An honourable mention as well, though, for the 17th at Birkdale. I'm not sure what you think about the hole itself, but please tell us about that second shot. Is it the best shot you've ever hit?
Yeah, probably is the best shot I ever hit. You know, I can pick other shots.
Well, put it this way, if it wasn't the best shot you've ever hit...
Where did I hit a better shot?
Where the hell did you hit one better?
This is a 5-wood. Perhaps he doesn't know where he is. He's 2 ahead. This is a bit of a risk in this Wayne, don't you think?
I would have thought so.
I was confident and felt good about the shot.
You were in the zone.
You were in the zone. You can hit those shots.
What is the zone? Sorry?
I would talk
What is the
about...
zone? Can you... No?
It's that special place where everything is easy.
That's a ripper.
Couldn't do it tomorrow. Seriously, you
can't get into that frame.
Exactly. You need
can't get
the
into that
pressure,
frame.
the excitement,
you
the
need
adrenaline.
that adrenaline
Yeah.
to hit a shot of that length.
Yeah.
I mean, for a start, and never mind hit it to 3 foot and hole it.
So we move to the final hole. The 18th has to be a good one, and the honour here falls to you, Colin.
I went for the challenge of the 18th hole. Right now, I could have picked Rotrun's challenge of 18th hole. Terrific finishing hole at Lytham, made famous by Tony Jacquelin's great drive in 1969 down there to split the fairway and won him his Open Championship. But I would go for the classic, which is Muirfield. Nick Faldo's win there to make this final 18th par in a row, needing to hit a good drive.
Great shot and a great shout for it.
And there follow it on by a good second shot, finishing off in style.
Down the right side, needs to turn in a little bit, and how about that? Hold steady now, right at the flag. What a magnificent strike.
To have to stand on the 18th tee, to need a par and do it, good on you.
Padraig, what would your choice be?
Monty's not going to like this one. My choice, and he gets the vote, my choice is the 18th at St Andrews. Yeah. I totally agree with you.
So the same criteria as the first for you?
Are we talking about theatre here, or are we talking about good, solid golf holes? As a golf hole, it doesn't hit it.
If you're looking for an easy out, you'd pick the 18th at St Andrews.
Yes, you would.
Yeah, you'd never pick the 18th at
That
Carnoustie.
surprises me. Why do you pick an easy out? Is it just theatre
I'm not
then?
picking an easy out.
Is it where it is?
The situation on most holes adds maybe 5 or 10% to the hole. In this particular situation, it adds 90% to the hole. It is all about the situation. And if you have to make 3 at the 18th...
Rocker then for a 3. Look at
So essentially, it's a long par 3.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, to drive the green.
Yeah.
To drive a green at the last and to up some onto some steps and
the
hit some
Valley of
steps
Sin,
and
the Valley of Sin and putting out with right. There's been a lot of drama there. There has been a lot of drama for a simple hole.
Missed it. Yeah, certainty. And back for the grace of God.
have to draw an end to proceedings here because we're going to have to wave the following group through if we go on at this. But it does. This is the wonderful thing about it.
Yeah, we're going to stay talking about this. This ain't going to
come through.
It brings great debate, and it's the tradition.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've said if I was to win the Open, I'd choose no better place than to hole up
Seve hole in that the image.
I mean, come on. I mean, that is it. I mean, in 1984, for him to do
Nicholas
that and his celebration,
18th.
Nicholas taking his sweater off, you know, OK, you're getting there, you're trying, you're doing well.
People standing on the Swilcan Bridge where all the greats have stood before, Colin.
That's fine, but you can
Can
go
you hear
down
the
the
pipes in the distance?
But you can go down the left-hand side and cross it down the first if you want.
All right, OK.
Where you've hit your
jump
drive
over
for
it.
safety.
Look, the final say goes with the final say, Padraig, goes with Colin on the 18th hole. We've started with the first at St Andrews.
So
exactly. We're going to finish.
Okay. You can't have both because it is a field.
I will agree with that.
It is a field. You can't have both in that polar field, can you?
There we go. Right,
It's a
enough.
magnificent field. You've got to remember the Irish have a history with fields.
No. I'll give you the first because you can use the 18th if you want to. But
Colin, we started on the first at the Old Course. We're finishing on the 18th at Muirfield. We've visited every course in between, so it's been a wonderful tour. Those are our 18 holes. The 18 that we've chosen are fantastic. So, gentlemen, we have our final 18 holes, our ultimate Open Championship course. You have played together 35 Open Championships. Are you still as excited about the Open Championship? Does it still mean as much to you both?
I've been very fortunate. I've played 21 Opens in a row and look forward to trying to qualify and play 22. I feel so ambitious, and not just to compete in the Open, but to contend in the Open still. And I have a great drive to do so. And I look forward to every third week in July and have done for 21 years, and hopefully it remains, because it is the most special golf tournament that we play.
And Padraig, as you look down at this, this special trophy, the Claret Jug, it must be, is it the most special championship, the most special major for you?
Absolutely. You know, having won it twice, it still doesn't take away from the next time wanting to win another Open Championship. There's nothing like it. It gives tremendous opportunity every time you turn up there. There's just so many variables, there's so many things to manage, and every time you go back there, you're just never quite sure, and it just adds a little bit to the excitement that really, at an Open Championship, anything can happen.